Well, hello. Hope you're well. Thank you for joining us for this online message. Real quick, I just want to let you know I have a sign up right here. If you're curious, we're going to have a camp out. The church is camping out July 24th, 21st, July 21 through 24. That's Thursday through Sunday right here at Swatera Creek, kind of the intersection of Hornerstown Road and Grandview. Look for the flags. It's where we had our baptism service last summer. We'll set up a time. You could set up anytime. Thursday, tear down on Sunday. Tents and campers are both welcome. You could stay one night, 2 nights, or all 3 nights. Everyone at DRC is invited to join us for the nightly campfire at 8 o'clock, even if you're not camping. Saturday, we'll go tubing and kayaking for anyone who's interested. Campers and non-campers, we've provided a shuttle service back. We'll have a group launch at 1 p.m. Weekend services are still going to be held as usual at the building on Saturday and Sunday. You're responsible for your own food and child care. So if you're curious about that, come join us. All right. Should you care about what other people think about you? Should you care about what other people think about you? The answer is yes and no. You can make an argument for both. Reputations matter. There's no getting around it. Reputations matter. One of the least popular names here in the United States, you want to guess what the least popular name is? One of them? There's only 23 people. In 2014, only 23 people had the last name Hitler. There's a reputation that sticks with that name. In fact, there's only one person in the state of Pennsylvania with that last name. I don't know. It's hard to meet people when you have that last name, I guess. We should care about what people think because reputations do matter. More importantly, we should care what people think because Scripture says, so Proverbs 22:1, a good name is more desirable than great riches. To be esteemed is better than silver or gold. Proverbs 10:7. The name of the righteous is used in blessing, but the name of the wicked will rot. And then Proverbs 3, verse 4. Then you will win favor and a good name in the sight of God and man. So yes, we should be concerned about what people think about us. Reputations are built over time. It's when others evaluate your life choices and determine who you are. So people look, people notice, people can't help but notice who you are and what you do in your life choices. Now you might say you don't like being judged. Well, the point is you are always judging people and situations. Is this person safe? Is this person trustworthy? It's also known as using discernment, okay? Life choices. Now, they can be superficial, by what we wear. It could be superficial, but it also might indicate who we are a little bit. What do your choices say? And what choices are superficial? And even superficial ones still say something about who you are. So what do your choices say, your life choices? Who you are, going back to that definition of a reputation, it's others evaluate your life choices and determine who you are. Who you are, not what you want to be, claim to be, hope to be. Your actions and your attitudes matter, obviously. Over time, is the other part of this definition. Over time. Now, I think this does allow for bad moments when they're the exception and not the rule. All of us have a moment when we're not at our best. So a reputation shouldn't be tarnished by one event, but if that personality flaw or characteristic in you keeps seeing over and over and over again, then it's not just a rare exemption. So reputations are built over time. As believers, it's a huge priority for us. This one thing said our number one priority. I don't know if it's our number one priority or not, but it's a huge priority for us to represent Christ well. Acts 1:8. You will receive power when the Holy Spirit comes on you. Great. And you will be my witnesses. We are a witness. We are witnesses, even if we're not carrying around the little gold 4 spiritual law booklet that you might have seen in the past. In fact, Josh has said something the other day, our son. He drives this white Jeep that we bought. It has a "He is greater than I" sticker on the back. He, God, is greater than I. And Josh said something kind of joking around, like, I feel some pressure to drive well when I got that sticker on. We are witnesses, especially if you put a sticker on the back of your car. And here's a saying, it sounds so lame, it sounds so hokey. You might push back on it. You are the only Bible people will ever read. You are the only Bible some people will ever read. Again, you might not like it. It might seem kind of hokey. Maybe you don't like it because it's also convicting and true. Think on that for a moment. It's important because people evaluate the worthiness of our message based on our reputations. You do. You dismiss people's opinions if you think of them as being foolish. So people are going to do that for us. Dishonesty, gossip, hypocrisy, they all damage our testimony. They don't reflect the character of Jesus. This is not only a neutral dismissal of our message, it's a negative, harmful influence and factor that can actually hinder people coming to Christ. So it's not just this neutral thing, it's a negative thing. So we need to be aware. People evaluate the worthiness of our message based on our reputation. So yes, we need to care about what other people think about us. How do you get a good reputation? Here's just a few suggestions. Live with integrity. The public and private person should be the same. We shouldn't live with hidden agendas. Sometimes there's a pretty big disconnect between what people portray themselves at church and how they carry on in their private lives. And again, there's just a level of hypocrisy in that we need to live with integrity. We need to live authentically. We need to admit when we make mistakes and quickly make it right. We're not talking about perfection. We just need to be real with one another, be transparent, to be authentic. In fact, I could say this, your failure could be an incredible witness when it's admitted and dealt with. So it doesn't have to be this big, colossal public failure, but just a personal failure. You cut somebody off, or just the most minor things. When we admit to that and we ask the person to forgive us, we don't ask for forgiveness a lot. It's kind of become a rare thing. When we live authentically, that's an incredible witness for people. Some see Christians as hypocrites. That's just sad. While that's sad, it might seem silly, but some people see Christians as almost having this unattainable life. Like, they're not perfect, but they're better than I am, and I could never be that way. And so that's a lie that they hear from Satan. It kind of keeps them, I think, from pursuing God. But we need to be real. It's refreshing to others. It's refreshing to non-Christians when they see that we are authentic and real people. In fact, Hebrews 28:13? No. Hebrews, I have to check out a passage again. It's not Hebrews 28. Whoever conceals his transgression will not prosper, but he who confesses and forsakes them will obtain mercy. So regardless of the reference, whoever conceals his transgressions will not prosper, but who confesses and forsakes them will obtain mercy. We need to live consistently. You need to keep your word. We need to be consistent people. Let your yes be yes, let your no be no. We need to live reverentially. We need to esteem others highly, more highly than we often do. Last week we hit this verse, 1 Corinthians 10:24. No one should seek his own good, but the good of others. So we need to esteem, we need to put others' needs, others' desires before our own. When we do that, we'll have a good reputation. We need to be aware and we need to care. Those with good reputations usually are those who are aware and care about how they are perceived. When I ask you if you know what your credit score is, you might know, because credit score is kind of something that is important. You want to go get a loan or whatever it is. So there's a chance you might know your credit score. But I don't know if we're always aware of our reputation. It'd be great if, it'd be sobering maybe if we had a realistic understanding about how people see us. Now there's a danger here when we talk about living with a good reputation. And that is the danger of just putting up a facade. It's kind of the idea is, I can't go to church on Sunday with a dirty car. So Saturday, a lot of folks are cleaning their cars for church on Sunday because they don't want to show up in the church parking lot with a dirty car. That's putting an unhealthy emphasis on appearance. So there is a danger. When we talk about reputation, it's putting up a facade. It's putting too much emphasis on how we appear, how we are revealing ourselves to others. So, all right. Now, yes, we should care about what people think about us. Now we're going to handle the no side. No, you shouldn't care about what people think about you. There are times when your reputation takes a hit through no fault of your own. You didn't do anything wrong. People are going to gossip. People are going to slander. People are going to lie, and that can cast a shadow. There's an online business kind of around this idea of reputation defender. And if people are saying negative things about your business online, they'll go and try to clean up the internet opinions of you. You're not a business, so you're not going to be able to hire somebody to do that for you on the internet. It does take time to build a reputation. And hopefully you've built enough of a reputation that when people start saying things that may not be true or accurate about you, they're going to recognize who you truly are. In our personal lives, in our walk with humility, Jesus made himself of no reputation. Think about that. He took the form of a servant in the likeness of men. Jesus humbled himself. Are you willing to be misunderstood? And then why not? Someone complained about me recently to somebody else, and I found it just kind of almost amusing. I have not always felt that way, but are you willing to be misunderstood? Jesus entrusted his reputation to his Father. Jesus entrusted his reputation to his Father. You can too. 1 Peter 2:23, Jesus says this. It says about Jesus, he continued entrusting himself to him, the Father, who judges justly. That's a great prayer for all of us. We need to continually entrust ourselves to him, who judges justly. That's 1 Peter 2:23. There are times when your reputation takes a hit through a fault of your own. First one is through no fault of your own. This one is, yes, through a fault of your own. You have messed up. You have made a mistake. The men's breakfast this morning, I mentioned what would happen if I got a DUI. That would be a bad deal. It would really hurt my reputation in town, especially having the position that I'm in. So we are going to make mistakes. The deepest lessons of grace, forgiveness, and identity can only be learned when we make mistakes. I think that's true. Again, we need to remember, like we said last week, there is no more wrath. You are forgiven. How important it is that we learn to live our lives before an audience of one. Life is a marathon. There's going to be good and there's going to be bad. And I'll say this too. Before and after testimonies can be pretty powerful things. Now, we talk about before and after testimonies, about before I met Christ, my life was like this. After I met Christ, my life is like this. Well, even as a Christian, when we make a mistake and something happens, and it doesn't have to be this big colossal thing that makes the newspaper, but if I have a situation plays out with somebody, and then my relationship looks different afterwards with that person, good things can happen. Testimonies, before and after testimonies, can be powerful things. Tennis is a two-person game. You're only responsible for what happens on your side of the net. You can hit a ball back saying, hey, I'm sorry that I did that, and it's up to them what they're going to do with it. You can hit the ball back and make a good gesture for somebody. You could do all you can hitting your ball to the other side of the net, but you have no responsibility for what happens, what they do with your good intentions. That's why Romans 12:18 says, If possible, so far as it depends on you, live peaceably with all, as long as it depends on you. The reality is of living in a fallen world, some people will not see you as you really are, but others will. In fact, 1 Peter 2:15, your honorable lives should silence those who make foolish accusations against you. Hopefully, we live such a life of integrity that when accusations come, and somebody at the men's breakfast shared a really neat story about how that played out in their own life. But yeah, we should live our lives in such a way that silence those who make foolish accusations against us. Here's the last kind of point. It's kind of an unfortunate truth. Not everyone's going to like you, okay? Not everyone is going to like you. In fact, it'd be a big problem if they did. If the world hates you, Jesus said, if the world hates you, keep in mind that it hated me first. If you belong to the world would love you as its own. So if everybody has a great opinion of you, maybe that's an indication that you're not being a witness for God's truth. What is light going to have in common with darkness? And if we're going to be people of light, people of darkness are not going to appreciate that or us. And maybe it's more of a reward or a blessing than an actual unfortunate truth. Matthew 5:10-12. Blessed are those who are persecuted because of righteousness. Blessed are you when people insult you, persecute you, and falsely say all kinds of evil against you because of me. There's two dangers in this conversation about reputation. The first one is not caring enough. We're just unaware. We're calloused. We're kind of a bull in a china shop. Kind of a scorched earth policy when it comes to relationships and our actions. We might even say, it's the way that I am. Get used to it. Or, it's their issue. So when it comes to reputation, sometimes we don't care enough and we live our lives any which way we want. That's not right. The other danger is caring too much, being overly sensitive, finding our security in people and their opinions of us, being too self-conscious, just always focused on superficial or being guarded with other people. So yes, we should care about our reputations. It's very important. And at the same time, no, we can't always be concerned about our reputations because people might not appreciate who we are because of the person of Jesus and our belief in him. We're going to end our time together here at the building by carving out 5 minutes, we've done this before. It's a little bit of a unique thing though. We're going to have a 5-minute reflection time and we're going to work through these 5 questions. I encourage you to do the same. The first question is this. We're just going to sit on this, people here. What is your reputation? How do people see you? That's a great question. Now, I know people have, I have a good sense what people might think about me. I'm loud or whatever. What is my reputation? How do people see me? I think that's a great question to ask. We're not always very self-aware. What is your reputation? The second question is, you could spend all 5 minutes on that. The second one is, who has a negative opinion of you? Is there anything you could do about it? Who has a negative opinion about you? Is there anything you could do to reach out to make amends or to apologize, ask for forgiveness? Is there anything you could do that could help alleviate whatever it is that has, if you have some culpability in it? Here's the third question. Are there any habits or practices that you have the power to change? Whew. Now, changing your character is hard, but are there any little things that you could do, habits, practices that you have the power to change? Again, our reputations just aren't made out of our character. Oftentimes our character is a result of our actions. Our actions shape our character. But we have the ability to change some of our habits and some of our practices. Here's an interesting question. Next one. Whose opinion do you need to care less about? Think about that. Whose opinion do you need to care less about? And the last question, how does concern for your reputation hold you back from following Christ more boldly? Is there any way your concern for your reputation holds you back from being more vocal about your faith or even impacting how you live your life and the actions that you take? I think it's important. Those are great questions, and I think it'd be worth the time to kind of ponder them a little bit. I remembered this quote I found. I've learned that people will forget what you said, people forget what you did, but people will never forget how you made them feel. So I think back about the people that I haven't seen for 20 years. They don't remember what I said. They probably don't remember much about what I did, but hopefully they remember how I made them feel. And hopefully I left them feeling good. But I know, ideally, that's not always the case. But people moving forward, when it comes to building your reputation or repairing your reputation, they're not going to remember what you said. They're not going to remember what you did, but they will remember how you made them feel. Maybe that's helpful. All right. Well, again, thank you for joining us for this short and online message. Take care. God bless. Hey, hopefully we'll see you soon.